I'll tell you something I do know.
Go on.
Right? But I can't really get a question out of it.
Go on, just tell us.
There's a shadow somewhere.
It's already good, isn't it?
I'm loving it already.
No, right, there's a shadow, I think it was in America.
Yeah.
And it's on a quiet road. I'm guessing somewhere like Boston, that's what I imagine.
Okay.
Right?
No.
Somewhere like Boston, and people at night used to see this shadow moving about, and they'd go, what's that? Right? And it got known, the town, the little local town got known for this shadow, but it didn't cause any problems. People
What are you talking about?
Well, it was
Just
like,
you've lost me.
What are you talking
no,
about?
do you know, like, some places get famous, like, Scotland's got the Loch Ness Monster and that, but it doesn't cause any, but it doesn't cause any problems.
It does exist, go on.
Right? So there's this shadow walking about on the road. And,
What do you mean? No, what's he, again? Rubbish.
right, so he's walking
Nonsense.
about.
Where did you read this? Where did you
He's
see
walking
this?
about, this was on the internet, and I'm
Oh,
sure...
sorry! Sorry!
Right.
I thought it was shite. I didn't know it was on the internet.
Right, so this shadow is moving about, and,
Independently of an object.
yeah, and the local mayor and that is like, yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's not harming anyone.
The mayor involved!
Was he elected to that post?
Hey, Mayor, we got a problem down here. Seems like a shadow. Well, it's not causing any. No, it's
It's
just.
causing any problems?
Yeah, go on.
But that's the thing, it was left for years, and then it did start causing problems.
I see, that's it. If you leave these shadows to go unchecked, Rick, they go crazy.
Yeah.
You let them run amok in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
You've got to stamp
What
down
did it do?
on
What did it
roaming
do?
shadows.
What did the shadow do?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
It was what?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
Oh!
I'll find out more for that next week. Right, that'll tease
Oh,
them.
you're a maniac!
We'll do more on that. We haven't had time for
Please
educating.
never have children.
Right, listen.
You are
Just promise me now you'll never have kids.
We haven't got time.
Okay,
now
listen,
for-
alright, DJ Shadow, have we got time for to give these tickets away?
Yeah, if they just call up, we'll.
No, I'll tell you what, I've got a question, right?
Go on.
Where does Carl think this may have taken place? If you've been listening to the show, where do you think this evil shadow has been running amok? Let us know. The number, Carl?
Good question.
08700 800 1234. So,
Excellent.
but that's it. We are actually out of time.
We are indeed.
now.
Have I got time for a song for ladies?
It's a bit tight. I was
Why?
told to finish
It's
now.
5:02.
I know, but we've got to get finished early today. So
Why?
just because we have, and we're wasting more time talking about why we have to.
Oh, this is pathetic.
So they call up. Where did they see the ghost?
Yeah.
And you've got to pick the tickets up from reception. You can go tonight, see DJ Shadow. That's
Shoddy.
it.
This
right?
is shoddy.
Right. See you then.
Now, this will scare you. Now, Carl, you will be a little bit unnerved about this. Have you seen the film Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
You know what happened there? Well, according to the Sun here, it says scientists are planning to clone mammoths for a theme park. Look at his face, look at that, he looks like a dog caught in the headlights of a car, he's
I
terrified.
love Carl.
He's sprung to attention there.
Is that the best news you could have?
Man moths.
Right.
Yeah, man moths.
I
Man
love
moths.
the fact that that's why he was so excited that they bred a man moth. What is this? Yeah, it's a human being that hides in your wardrobe and eats the entire jacket in a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean man moths? Mammoths. Mammoth, the big hairy
you
cow
heard of a
from the
mammoth?
Ice Age. I mean, elephant.
You're not so excited about that, then? You can take or leave bringing back mammoths to life, but a man moth?
A man moth is a different matter. Oh, if we'd have never brought that up, he'd have gone and told someone now.
Yeah.
You know, they've bred an half man, half moth.
This
and
is
that's
what
how,
we
this is how
mean.
things start.
This is what we mean when you hear
don't-
these ghost
Are you
stories.
slightly deaf? Is that it? When you hear these stories, you're slightly deaf. And his head was in the basket, and he went, "Count how many times I blink." Is it?
Carl, is English your first language? Are you actually foreign? Is that the
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Should we
When
speak
we say
slower?
foreign, we mean not of this planet.
Yeah. Should we speak slower? Would that be a help to you?
No, go on. Next
What do you
one.
make of
Do
that?
you think that's good?
The
Do you think that's
idea
good
of
to bring
bringing
back mammoths?
prehistoric animals.
These giant elephants.
They're slow, aren't they? It's not as if they're gonna, like, get out and run fast and they can't capture them.
They'd probably be a fence, to be honest, Carl. They'd probably be a fence.
No, but I'm
This is
saying,
fence.
but you're asking it as if, like, oh, it could all go wrong, but it couldn't, could it?
Well,
Really?
but the point was about Jurassic Park is they thought it wouldn't go wrong, and they thought they had it all under
Yeah, but
control.
that was
and
Have
they-
you
dinosaurs.
learned nothing from Jurassic Park, Carl?
Dinosaurs would say, oh, think about it before you do it. But with a airy elephant, it's not gonna.
Not a concern for you. Would you go along to see him? Would you be interested in that?
If it was in the area.
He's great, isn't he? I'd love a queue,
Nothing
right?
impresses
No,
him.
but what I'd like to do is Carl sitting like Yoda in a little cave, and I'd just like to see people like Tony Blair and, you know, Stephen Hawking in a queue, and they go and say, Carl, got a bit of a problem,
And thinking of cloning a man and a moth. Problem? Not an issue. No, if I'm in the area, I might cruise around and have a look at it. Otherwise, just don't send it near my clones.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's just for a second. As the words man moth came into your head, how excited were you? I mean, were you both terrified and excited? For the moment when you thought that they'd cloned a man and a moth.
I pictured,
What kind of face did he have? Did he have the moth's head, or was it a man's head?
just a little man head.
Right, what was his face? What did it look like?
He just was like a bit shocked.
Perplexed, yeah.
Yeah,
it was like he'd been grafted onto the body of a moth without his consent.
And when he was asleep,
Yeah, he'd woken up.
he just went in to have a goiter removed, and they said, "We've
He
replaced
woke
your
up with
goiter with the body of a giant moth."
Yeah.
Is that all right, Mr. Jenkins?
So he had the head of a little. Was it a little boy or a man?
little man,
Right. Okay.
and he's just bumping into a lamp.
Just bumping into a.
For some reason, they want one of us to do an impression of Leslie Phillips.
Can't do it.
I can't.
Doesn't he say ding dong?
And hello and all that.
That's not bad.
But I want Carl to do it though.
Yeah. Go on, Carl.
Go on.
Hello,
Well done. Say ding dong.
ding dong.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we do any other impressions?
No.
Go.
Think of any.
Hello. Do that.
Hello.
Yeah.
You look like a ventriloquist dummy.
Hello.
Brilliant.
Oh, Carl.
Do my name is Bond, James Bond, as though it were Sean
My
Connery.
name's Bond. James Bond. Do that. Go on.
My name's Bond.
No, do it as though you were doing an impression.
Sean.
So I'm trying to be Scottish.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, sort of.
Perhaps a bit more specific than that. Sean Connery.
My name's Bond.
Keep going.
My name's Bond, James Bond.
Look, Jimmy Stewart. It's not like this. This is the best fun. It's like having your very own Fisher Price toy for 2 hours a week. It's great. Do Roger Moore. Do that.
Roger Moore.
Phyllis Pierce, Percy Sugden. I'm licensed to kill.
Anyway, she just said.
No, this is a great game.
that's enough of that.
We'll come back to this another time.
Yeah,
maybe.
anything you want Carl to do. Right.
The little cheek of the freak that we've gone for anyway.
The what?
The little freak of the week.
Yeah.
Cheeky freak of the week. We've gone for this Siamese lad.
Okay.
Right. Happened back in.
You can't have a Siamese lad, can you?
Alright, yeah. This Siamese twins. Happened back in 1693.
Oh, he's got a date. Blimey, that's the first time ever.
Yeah. And all it was, he was doing all right for himself. He used to go on those circus things he used to do.
They're two people you're talking about, Carl. So we're going to him.
All right then. All right.
They
did this circus show, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going well. They're selling out the tents and stuff. People coming to see them.
Yeah.
He was doing all right for himself,
Yeah.
right?
Sorry, before I said that, did you think a Siamese twin was a man with two heads?
Well, it can be, can't it? It depends. There's
There's two people, they're conjoined.
No, but it depends, doesn't it? The one that I was showing you in that book that time was a fellow with two heads.
No, it wasn't. That was a stupid picture in one of your stupid books that he had a growth that looked a little bit like it had a face on it. It wasn't a man with two heads. You're the same sort of people who send potato chips to restaurants and say, doesn't it look like Norman Cook?
Yeah.
It's not two heads.
We'll bin this feature.
No!
No,
They're two people. They're two people. Conjoined twins.
Yeah.
Right, so these...
They just happen to have a similar taste in clothes. Okay.
Anyway, so they were doing all right, and it all went wrong when he crossed the road, got run over. The lad with two heads got run over. That's it.
What? How is that cheeky freak of the week?
Just because it got my interest, and I kind of thought, why didn't he just look both ways? I'm going to come in with topics every week, and this week I've got
Ghosts.
No, hanging bacon is one of the topics.
Say that again.
Hanging bacon.
Hanging bacon.
All the titles.
Francis Bacon.
No, all the titles are sort of named to sort of tease you and get you more interested in it.
Hanging bacon. Well, you've certainly intrigued.
Go on, what's another title one?
Hairy Chinese kid.
I'm gonna go for that one.
If there was a university degree with that title...
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for hairy Chinese kid,
And
I think.
the final one, Alien gives man a beard.
Right,
Alien gives man a beard.
I am gonna burst. Right, listen, Carl, you've got to tell me. Right, right, let's do it in reverse.
No, we're not gonna do it now anyway.
What do you mean? We've got to do it now. I mean, this is the first interesting thing you've said in an hour. Okay, the listeners have just been subjected to rubbish and mistakes and everything for the last 6 months. Please, we've got to do Alien gives man a beard. What is that? Tell us that.
Right,
Sorry, this is just you telling me something, is it? This feature is you telling me something.
well, teaching you something, educating Ricky.
So are we playing it now? We're already into this feature, well into this feature, are we?
Yeah, I suppose we are, yeah.
Should there not be a jingle or something?
Yeah, can we have a
Well, there's
jingle?
no point, because look, I come up with ideas and you dismiss them straight away, so I'm not wasting my time making stuff.
Right.
If you don't like
well, okay, let's play educating Ricky.
Right.
Brilliant. Go. Right.
so-
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Educating Ricky.
Right, what we going for then? Hanging the bacon, airy Chinese kid, Alien gives man a beard.
I think Alien gives man a beard.
I'd like
We're all
to do
excited
that.
about it.
Right, there's this fella, I think it happened in America, and he saw a bright light in the sky. And
God, if you're bored.
he stood there,
This is a true story, is it?
yeah, he stood there,
Yes, of course it isn't, Steve.
and he saw this bright light and it came closer and closer and it was a UFO, right?
Yep.
And he looked at it and it disappeared, right? And he gets back in his car
He looks in the mirror.
and he looks in the mirror.
Yep.
He's only got a beard.
He hasn't.
You sure it wasn't someone else who got in the car and he was still standing out there?
No, right?
What?
And it turned out,
Yeah.
he got home and said to his wife or his girlfriend, it's a bit weird. So I just got out of the car to look at a bright light, and I got back in the car and I grew a beard, and she said, never mind your beard, where have you been for 3 days? And what had happened is,
He passed out because he was pissed.
no, the UFO had taken him for 3 days,
Yeah.
but he'd only thought that he'd only looked at it and it went away.
Yeah.
But what had happened is, he took him, and he grew a beard because he hasn't had a shave.
Right, okay. I mean, was Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones anything to do with this at all? Did you see this on a video maybe and thought it was an educational film?
No, it's from a book that some kind person sent in to me. Here.
Can I just ask again, just again, I'm just throwing this right back at you. Do you think there's any other possible answer here? Right? A man is absent for 3 days from home.
He's
the
grown a
length
beard.
of time that it could take to grow a beard, lest we forget. What if he hadn't actually seen a bright light in the sky?
What if he was
he'd been
lying? What if
drunk?
he was lying?
He'd got knocked unconscious, he'd had a car crash.
Just
any number
lying.
of other
No,
things.
just lying.
Or he was just lying.
Yeah, he'd been on a bender, getting pissed for 3 days
And that
with
was
his
his
mates.
excuse to his wife.
And they went, Dennis, what are you gonna tell your wife?
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
He's not going to believe I was out with you, lads.
Just say you're only away for a minute. No, I wasn't away from it because of the beard. Oh yeah, look, it looks like you've been out for 3 days. Well, we have, that's...
Exactly.
Right, okay, we've got to cover that then. Alien abduction.
Great one.
Okay, let's try that.
Do you see? That's a little scenario there that could have been played out.
So, when you say educating Ricky, what have I learnt from this? Never listen to you again. That's all I've learnt so far. Never listen to you.
Yeah, we'll add a little bit more in here, right? To
Well,
spice this
no,
up.
what do you mean add a little bit more?
We'll add a bit more to this what I'm educating you about,
Go on.
right? There's only a law in America that says if you touch a UFO, you're going to get done. Now, why would they make a rule? I don't know that. Do you know, like, all their rules have a caveat?
Carl, I genuinely do not know what you're talking about.
Right. Do you know, like, how here they might have...
Do you know
I
what?
have no idea.
Right,
Okay.
Do you know, like, over here...
I'm listening to Capital and these headphones. I got Foxy on from yesterday.
Right, let's bin that.
No way, it's great. From 1978, Carl, Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. Are you a fan of that?
It's alright, that.
Great track, isn't it?
Fans of Warren Zevon, maybe if you should know he's got a new album out
Oh,
as we speak. Although, if you're a fan, you probably know that already.
Yeah.
If you aren't a
People
fan,
who hate him would
Yeah.
be interested
Would be-
in knowing
yeah.
that he's got a new album out. Do you believe in, I think
Werewolves.
lycanthropy? Is it not called?
What's that, sorry?
Lycanthropy.
What's lycanthropy?
Isn't that? werewolfism.
Really?
Isn't it? Do you believe in that, Carl?
They've found stuff, haven't they? They've found kids walking about who are all hairy because they've sort of grew up with wolves and that.
Yeah.
So
No, you see, two things there. You cannot take on acquired characteristics genetically. So, if you grew up with wolves, it wouldn't suddenly make you hairy.
there's been pictures, there's been stories on it, and I reckon most people have, or a lot of people have seen the stories. It's a popular thing.
You mean the kids that are born hairy?
No, there's kids who've been born hairy, right?
Yeah, that's it.
No, but listen, and they walk around on all fours, and they drink milk from a saucer.
Steve, this is
remember that time with the maggot in the head?
Yeah.
And getting out with bacon, and you were like laughing, and then people called up and said, "Yeah, I've seen that. I've read about that."
Yeah,
this is the same thing.
Have you seen an XFM listener up close? Have you ever looked?
They
studied?
drink milk from a saucer.
yeah, they've got to be kept on leads. People who listen to this show.
There's no point in me telling you about stuff.
There is. It's comedy
See,
gold.
when you were at school, did you keep arguing with the teacher saying you're talking rubbish there?
Teachers didn't teach us about werewolf boys and ghosts. They taught us maths. God, right. Tell the story about the manhole cover.
Right, in the same magazine as the one with the cat and the fire and that.
Don't tell me that story again, it gives me the shivers.
Yeah, a cat that's got a weird expression on his face is against God.
Anyway, this isn't a scary story. This was just like physics.
explained?
Physics.
Yeah.
It was going on about the nuclear bomb and how powerful it is. And they put a manhole cover on top of one.
Okay.
Blew it up.
Yeah.
Never saw the manhole cover again.
Man alive, Carl. Unexplained.
What's going on there? Something weird is happening there. Oh.
If anyone has ever seen that manhole cover, please get in touch. We'd love to know where it is.
Oh, that's fantastic. What sort of experiment is that? I imagine all these scientists on multi-billion-pound research projects, they're going, we test everything. What would they do to a manhole cover? Don't know.
That's like letting a couple of students
yeah, exactly.
have control of a nuclear
Do you reckon it can
Let's
send a
put this
traffic cone into orbit? Go on then, put it on there. I love that. Imagine that. What value is that? I might tell you what we could do. We could put the manhole cover on it and aim it, and then blow the bomb up, and the manhole cover would have someone's eye out. Fire it. See if you can fire manhole covers off the nuclear bomb. Whatever. Tie bangers to a bomb. See if it's louder. Oh God. Nirvana. Man Who Sold the World. Carl's all confused because it didn't tell you it was ended, did it? What is that then? Is that a sort of glitch on the computer?
Just applause, isn't it? Careful, they might start swearing, you know what they're like. Yeah. Rock stars.
Yeah.
Their blue language.
Yeah, and all their habits and all that. Yeah, like it says track ending now.
Stop talking about it. That's you're giving away all the secrets of radio and that. People think it's like an old piece of vinyl that we've put on a needle, you know, like those old bits of footage of Tony Blackburn. That's what they think it's like. They don't realise there's computers doing it all. Yeah. Rick, you're showing them behind the curtain. Never do that.
I won't.
Never do that, mate.
In the week, I called Carl up. I said, "How are you, mate?" He went, "Not too bad." Now, as you know, his girlfriend's been away for ages, hasn't she? Covering the World Cup, the African
Nations
Cup. She's a sports journalist.
Well, yeah.
All right. Okay.
I love the fact you're thinking, what does that mean? Like, well, she's not much of a journalist, Rick, to be honest. I've read some of her stuff.
No, but she's not on air. She does stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Sure.
A lot of journalists do. You always want to make clear that you're not going out with Kate Adie. That's what you want to make clear, isn't it? Yeah. Now, so she'd seen none of the meteoric rise of Carl as a broadcaster.
She's been away for the whole time
a
since you've sort of become
a wit,
yeah,
a cult figure, to be honest. And he hadn't told her this. So apparently he went home and she was sitting there looking a bit grumpy. He went, "All right." She went, "Yeah." She went, "Should we go out then?" She went, "I'm not sure I want to go out with an idiot." Right?
Oh no!
Yeah. And she went, "Loch Ness Monster. Won't you just think? Of course the Loch Ness Monster lives in Loch Ness." And she was giving a bit of a hard time. And she went, "That's why he said, that's why I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her really. Same thing happened when I was at school and I had to play drums in Little Donkey. I didn't tell my parents, right? But my dad turned up anyway. And what happened?"
He,
How old were you, Carl?
Well, it was the school that I used to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. You
secondary-
went. You used to go to the school you used to go to.
No, but what I mean
Go
is,
on.
I didn't go to secondary, did I? So I missed a lot of that.
Sure.
But primary, I liked.
Oh,
it was
okay.
all colouring in and stuff.
Yep.
And it was a Christmas play, and I managed to get a part in it. And
Did you audition?
got a part in it, and I should have been playing the drums to the one about Kings.
We Three Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was meant to be doing that, but Little Donkey came on, and it was one of the.
What do you mean came on?
That was like next up on the next song,
Right.
and it's one of them songs that you can't help sort of.
Tapping along to.
Yeah. Do you know like if I was to go
Yeah, you'd have to finish it with.
yeah. Do you know that they actually send that into space?
Do they?
And
What? Hoping the aliens will respond with that.
yeah. They do that because apparently it is one of them things that you can't help.
What? Even if you're an alien life form,
Yeah.
they know that, do they?
But anyway,
What? Because they watch Star Trek or something?
No. Knock knock.
Yeah.
no, seriously.
Is it true? Like, if we say
there?
out, knock knock into space, yeah, they have to say.
Oggy, oggy, oggy. Oh,
Do you
that
actually do
is
this?
that is
Do you look
great.
into it? Seriously.
Oh, hold on, what's something out there? Was a little green fella? That is great.
Yeah. So anyway,
That is fantastic.
Little Donkey is like one of them tunes that you can't. And I was there, and I had the drumstick, and I thought, oh god,
The drumstick.
I could feel myself. And anyway,
Just wanting to do it, yeah.
I started going along and playing Little Donkey, which I wasn't meant to do, but it went down such a storm.
What, were there people like parents and that dozing off, and then suddenly they heard your version of Little Donkey, and they thought, wait a minute, now it's really picking up.
What do you mean?
I'm glad we paid £1.50 for this.
What do you mean it went down such a storm? I'm going, hold on, was it like when
People have
Ringo...
lights in the air.
You know, like when Ringo joined the Beatles, now
Yeah.
going, boo, Pete Best, but he went,
Yeah,
and I went,
whoa.
whoa! Oh, God.
But the teacher just said, oh, it went down really well, you can do that again tonight,
Right.
when you're in it again. But anyway, so my dad was there, and...
And you hadn't told him about this performance, so
no, I
he
never
just
did.
turned up
I
off
never
his own
did.
back.
I never took the letters home and stuff to
No.
show my mum and dad, because it just put me off. So, anyway, he turned up, don't know why, he must have heard from someone else's dad.
Yeah.
He turned up, and he swore about me, which
Did he?
I don't...
Could you
what-
use
Do you think
a word
it's allowed
that's...
to be said? The word?
Of course it is.
Right. If you got a kid in the car or anything, you can turn it down now.
Yeah.
Right? But he said, there was a guy stood next to him with a camera, big video camera filming it, and he said, yeah, film it, but try and avoid getting the twat in the hat in the shot, because I had one of those porters, you know, the little round pork pie hats on.
Right.
This is so sad.
What, was this a nativity play?
It was about Jesus and stuff.
Yeah, well, there was a porter there helping him with his
Of course
bags.
there was, I forgot.
I
yeah.
mean, Mary and
What,
Joseph,
managing the
they got
stable?
there. Yeah, because
Sure.
it was the whole, you know, because the inn was full.
Yeah.
But I think the porter doubled up with the inn and the stable.
Right, that was nice.
So
of
he,
him.
yeah,
He
yeah,
carry bags over, yeah.
yeah. No, so yeah.
You're right, though. I don't know why I was wearing one of them, but I was. And
And your father said that, and how did you know your father said that? Did you
he told
hear
me
it?
about it later.
Oh, he told you about it later?
Yeah, I was talking about stuff I'd done at school, and he said, "Oh God, remember that?" And I spoke to him the other day about it,
Right.
and yeah,
Oh, God.
it's a shame.
So that was the end of your sort of drumming career, really? Because it could have been, I mean, you know, the audience loved it the night before.
Yeah.
You could have, like, been, who knows, a whole new world for you.
Yeah,
Have
that
you
is.
done any stuff?
I've never drummed. I wish I had, man. I wish
But
I had.
that is.
That's a movie story, but
Is that, and that's why you don't, and you don't tell, you still, your mum and dad don't know you on the radio,
No,
do
they think when they were down the other weekend, they had to come in. I just said, "Oh, I'll just go in and press the buttons."
Because they could listen on Sky Digital, couldn't they?
They could do.
But you wouldn't want that, would you?
I don't want that.
No. Play a record, and I'll talk to you again a little bit about this later.
yeah,
Came up with a good idea.
we'll be the judge of that.
Well, I'll do it now. It's not a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sticking my neck out here. But I think this isn't going to be a good idea.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to second that motion.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if we're both right.
See-through skin.
High five, Rick! Okay, monkey news?
Do you want a bit?
Yes, please. Play
Jingle.
the jingle.
This rush is weird. Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news.
Right. Right, they were filming a documentary, right, this telly company,
Yeah.
doing a documentary.
Who? Which one?
Don't know.
No, what was the documentary about?
About monkeys.
Yeah. Where was it? Where was it?
Africa.
Right. When was this?
haven't got a date.
Okay. Recently, though, since the advent of television, obviously.
Yeah. Actually, a bit of extra monkey news if you want it.
Okay, always.
Do you know the,
Monkey News Extra. Go on.
do you know the Halfords ads?
Halford's ads? I don't think so, no. What happens?
Halfords, they've you know, they sell nuts and bolts and stuff.
Right.
They were using monkeys in the ads.
Okay. Yeah. And what happened? Don't they sell bikes, Halfords?
Well, mainly.
Bicycles and motorbike stuff and that. Okay, so they're using monkeys in the advert. What happened?
I can't handle it.
What?
I can't do this. Look at
What?
it. Look at him.
I don't care what he's doing.
Well, basically, right, there was a load of hassle because they were using these monkeys in this Halfords advert.
Yes.
Right.
And what happened? Get to the point.
It turned out there wasn't a problem because they were mechanics in the first place.
Well, they were monkey mechanics.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Mental.
What are you talking about? That's not a story.
Well, anyway, listen, let's get back on
They were
to...
mechanics in the first place.
Right, listen. Right, so they're making this documentary. Right? And they stumble across a little gang of...
Come on! Just...
Get on with it, please.
Little gang of monkeys. That's
Yes.
the first time I've ever laughed. I'll hear that.
I know. Well, brilliant. What do you want, a cake? Come on.
Can we play a song?
Oh, I don't understand what is wrong with you, you freak.
It's making me laugh.
Just tell us the story.
Alright then, alright. So anyway, right, so there's this documentary being made. They found a little gang of monkeys.
Right, play a song. I don't know what's going on here. I apologise.
Got to hide your love away. According to the Beatles on XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. Right, Carl, come on.
where
Monkey
were we?
News.
Where were
Everyone's
we?
composed. The jingle, please.
Oh, chimpanzee that! Monkey News.
Excellent. Okay.
Right, where were we?
We would just start again. There's some people making a documentary.
For what? Okay.
Making a documentary in the jungle and that.
Right.
Stumble across a little gang.
Okay, come on.
Alright.
A little gang of monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
So the camera crew are there filming it.
Yes.
Everything's going normal.
It's all fine.
Nothing odd about it.
Okay. They're not running a restaurant, they've not got any barber shops, nothing.
No.
Just regular monkeys going about their business, yeah.
So anyway, what normally happens is the monkeys stick with the partner.
They already do what?
They don't sort of sleep around in that. Once they
right,
find
they're
once they
not-
find a girlfriend or the boyfriend or whatever,
Yeah.
they stick with them, right?
Okay.
But anyway, they were watching this one, right? And it's going around a bit, sleeping around,
Oi, oi.
and it was getting fatter. They thought this is a bit odd,
Yeah.
right? So followed it round and see it having it away. Turns out, little prostitute.
Oh, God!
It's a little monkey prostitute.
It was getting fatter because it was charging them bananas.
What a load of old rubbish.
It's charging them bananas! What was it, a boy or... It was a...
Woman, little woman monkey.
That's the most extraordinary monkey news I've ever heard.
Oh! That is genius!
Has this documentary been televised?
I don't think it's been on yet.
No.
And that's all the information you've got?
Yeah.
And is that's one banana for everything?
Now, half a banana is for...
Just oral.
A paw job.
Right.
If you want full-blown monkey sex, it is 2.5 bananas.
Sure.
So,
Let's just play a song.
let's just play...
Alright, well this is our penultimate show, so we're back next week. We're going to make it a barnstormer, I'm sure, lads. I want 100% behind it, 110% next week, alright? None of this giggling, none of this infantile giggling, like
Okay.
two schoolboys.
Right.
Alright, we're going to come back, we're going to have some quality monkey news next week, we're going to have all kinds of treats, I would have thought.
Okay.
Some great prizes. Alright, are we okay?
Yeah,
We're all
best show.
behind that.
Let's make next week the best show ever.
Good luck. If you miss it, then you miss out. We're ending with a track from a couple of years back, I think it was 92, 93, Dinosaur Jr., Start Chopping. Play that. Start playing. Forget start chopping, start playing.
Right.
Alright?
See you next week.
Yeah.
Carl, any more? Oh, tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about. Well, I mentioned Forrest Gump
Yeah.
and the Forrest Gump types when my dad was when he was a taxi driver,
Yeah.
you used to have to, sort of do your bit for the local area.
Oh God.
By taking the
Yeah.
Forest Gump
yeah.
people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now, the Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to
a
as?
minibus with
Exactly.
life is a box of
Yeah,
chocolates.
exactly.
.com.
Well,
Forrest Gump types.
It must be. So you work with these people.
It was yeah.
Yeah, the people with learning difficulties.
Difficulties, yeah. And they used to get 5.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And he had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and he couldn't control him.
God.
And what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit
Thanks, Dr. Carl.
you could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now, and he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in a wheelie bin, he was having a good time, he thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He you know, he was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine, he had a good
What,
time.
he left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half,
In a wheelie bin.
in a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, like, his arms were trapped on the thing. One of those one.
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know, like, because he was a big fella, and, like, he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. He just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his, family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away. And he took him there. There was no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble. So he pulled over it.
No, right, so he took him there, everything's fine, he dropped him off, they had a lovely night, right, they had a lovely night, won a bit of cash, coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, I want to be dropped off here, take me there, I want to be dropped off first, I've got to get up early, blah blah, you know, my husband's expecting me, I'm already late, take me here first, take me there, and he just pulled up, in the middle of nowhere, said, get out. And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking him home in the minibus, and he got the sack. But a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and, like, solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, I want to be dropped off first, take me here first, take me.
Yeah, so he acts like a madman. Good.
Oh, that was
Alright,
great.
we've got to crack on, haven't we, really? We got
Says so much. Yeah.
Yes, Nick Drake, a song for the ladies this week from the album Brighter Later at the time of a city clock. That's
Goodbye.
it. Right? Yeah,
Goodbye.
see you next time.
Bye.
My mum and dad, right, they moved to this little house, right, and they had loads of furniture that they've collected over the years without chucking out, and they've moved to this small house, so they just had too much furniture, right, and they had this double bed, and that was for, like, you know, when friends come round and that, they can stay there, but the problem was he wanted to sort of put these wardrobes in the bedroom, right,
Right.
that went on either side of the bed.
Sort of wrapped around
Because,
the bed,
yeah, but because the room was so small, he thought, I can sort that out.
Yeah.
Right? And he sawed the bed.
He sawed the bed.
He sawed the whole thing, so you've got, like, your mattress, your bed, and everything. And
What, he
sort
just sliced some off?
Like a big sandwich. Just cut a bit off
just
the edge.
cut the crust off.
About how much is that, would you say?
About 8 inches, 6
About
inches.
8 inches.
But hold on, but that
Well, he
won't
cut
work. Because it'll all fall out the side, and then what happened to the springs and all the supports and stuff?
He
It'll just
sorted it
collapse.
out. It didn't all come out and that. I mean, it's not the comfiest bed. but the weird thing is, he did it, and even though it's only like that 8 inches or whatever, it totally ruined it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, of course it would.
no, but what do you think I mean? I don't mean it ruined it as in it looks a mess.
No, it would have been uncomfortable.
Not even that though, just the fact it's that little bit shorter. It's like, God, for 2 people this is hard work now. This is like, you haven't got enough room, even though it's only 8 inches.
Why did he build the wardrobes first without measuring, putting the...
I think he did all that and then thought, oh, it'll easily fit in there, and it didn't. So he had to sort of saw a bit off the bed. But it's just weird how only 8
Did
inches.
he use one of those electric saws?
Yeah.
And there was
That's
just,
amazing.
presumably there was just kind of
What
sort of
did it-
material and wood just flying everywhere.
What did he do with the legs? Did he have to move the legs in a bit?
He moved the legs. Looking at it, right, once it's got like the quilt on it and everything, you wouldn't know. I was like,
Sure.
yeah, that's alright, you've done a good job.
Yeah.
And I went to bed at night, he's like, you know, sleep well. Got up in the morning after having about 45 minutes sleep and said, something not right with that.
Yeah.
And he
You
goes, "What do
really are
mean?"
your father's son, aren't you?
I said,
There's something not
I said,
right
it's
with
not
that.
right. And he said, oh, well, I said, what have you done? It doesn't seem the same. And he said, oh, I had to shorten it, sort of thing, you know, to fit in the gap. I said, well, I can't sleep in it. I said, and there was a big kerfuffle. My mum was saying, look, you have our bed then, and we'll sleep in that one. And my dad was like, sod that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ruined.
you know.
Some idiot cut it.
So, there was a big debate going on about where we should sleep, and I was saying, look, you know, I only come and see you, like, every couple of, you know, probably once
Can
every
I?
6 months.
I'm not being funny, but next time we go home, can I film it? Just for, I mean, Channel 4 or something.
Well, you know, I mean, the Osbournes is not on at the moment. The
Yeah, no.
Pilkingtons.
It'd be-
Now, that would be extraordinary.
oh, can we film it?
That's brilliant.
Is anyone from Channel 5 listening to this show?
Or Bravo.
Yeah.
The Pilkingtons.
Weird, though. Weird.
Play a record?
What do you want to play? Do you want to play, do you fancy playing some of yours?
What, have we got
I
anything?
don't know, something that was sent in to you, maybe?
Oh yeah, no, I'll tell you, yeah, I'd like to play this. Yeah, Bronze Age Fox. Band from Bristol, my neck of the woods.
Always
play the
working,
tune, play
Carl,
the tune.
always working. He's
Play the
always
tune.
working. He's on the ball. He's on the ball. He's on the Bobby ball. Anne Robinson put in the Welsh into room 101.
What, because she didn't like him and that?
Yeah, she just said, well, they're going in the, you know.
She said it slightly more eloquently than that.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I can the people or the place?
I don't know.
I think it was the place and therefore the people.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
No, well, you know, my mum and dad have sort of moved from Manchester. They reside now in Wales.
Oh, yeah.
And it is,
Look at his face, turning his nose up.
no, but it is pretty depressing. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them places that, it's like you go back in time and that when you go there. I mean, maybe the major cities there, maybe Cardiff is alright.
What, even coming from Manchester, it's like going back in time?
It's just, it's like one of them places that it feels like every day is Sunday. Do you know what I mean? It's just depressing and grey and slate
Lots of
everywhere.
bickers walking around going, I'm late.
Well, yeah, it is the sort of attitude they have, right? This is true because my mum and dad live there and that, right? And they love it. It's all right. It's an healthy place to go when you get older and that. But this is why they don't move on in Wales.
Well, I'd just like to make another
No.
sorry to any Welsh people listening. We're not saying you don't move on. Carl is.
No, but
Sorry about the little Chinese shoes
the
again as
thing
well.
is, it's good that in a way that they do that, and they don't want to be like, you know, rushing about everywhere because the way London isn't that great either, is it? Because it's totally opposite here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not having a go. It is a bit dull. I think even people who live there will agree with me,
Okay.
right? But like one of the shops that my mum and dad use, right? It's only a little sort of villagey type shop. They can't be bothered staying open for hours and hours, right? Because there's not enough people who use the shop.
Yeah.
So what you do is they get used to what you buy,
They
and
leave it out
they put it in a phone box outside.
They put it in a phone box.
Yeah.
so it doesn't get wet.
So my dad's loving that.
Well,
Once he
yeah.
found that out, it was like brilliant.
But how is that a bad thing? That's brilliant.
Well, it's not for other people. It is for my dad because he's picking up all sorts of stuff.
Oh
chickens.
no, he's not.
Oh yeah.
He's not nicking other people's shopping.
Well, it's not like nicking, is it? Because it's not theirs yet.
Oh, and you've stitched him up on radio.
Well, of course, because they're going to think, who is there in town with a Manc accent?
Who
hangs around a lot, yeah.
keeps making phone calls. And he's getting fatter.
Yeah.
That's
You've stitched him
I
right
love
up
that.
there,
I
Carl.
love that your dad was excited when he found out.
I can't believe that he's moved there. He's retired to this little village where it's based on trust and community, and he is abusing it. He's using his scally Manc ways.
Bloody hell, Lakers. There's no bread again.
There's old women
Was
going
empty.
hungry.
Yeah.
Their cats aren't getting fed, and your father is just. I can't. Oh, that's obscene. That's obscene.
Oh, I think it's Die Thief. That fella from Manchester.
I don't even think they've got Sky there yet, have they? They can't listen. They won't know what's.
I think you stitched him right up. I hope you have, actually. I hope he goes down for it. I hope he's hounded out of the community like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
They should get burning torches, go up to the
Set fire
mansion.
to his cottage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, well...
He's out of the choir.
Yeah.
Tell us about this woman.
Well, it was just because you were saying about the, you know, our living...
We are broadcasting now, aren't we? This is actually going out, this is live. This isn't as sort of like...
Yeah, but you were just talking about how I lived in an odd village.
Yeah.
With kids with big heads and all that, right? And what I wanted to do...
What is that again? There's 2 kids with big heads.
Yeah, they just had sort of big heads and, webbed hands and that. They went to my school. And, when I spoke to my dad the other day, because I'm going out to see my mum and dad tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, have we got any school photographs with the big-headed kids in? And he said, no, nobody bought those sort of school photos, because they were in it, so it was always a bit ruined. So I said, well... No, he said sales were, you know, because he obviously talked to other dads and stuff like that, and he just said, oh, no one bought them. But anyway, so...
I would love them!
Yeah.
That's why I'd buy them.
Yeah, but I wouldn't stand out, would I? If it's on the mantelpiece.
Yeah, well...
So, but anyway, so I was talking about, you know...
When you say they had big heads, what do you mean? Do they look like someone from Doctor Who?
They were just quite big.
But they weren't related?
No.
So why did 2 blokes with big heads and webbed feet?
I lived in a weird area. There was a chemical plant close by.
I can't believe you've never told us that before. That explains a lot. Not just the freaks in your neighbourhood, but...
No,
well,
there was loads of weird stuff going on. There was this, like I said, there was this woman who, used to, like, live in one of the council flats, right? And, she had a 3-wheeled, sort of big, what do you call it?
Son. 3-wheeled son. He was the weirdest bloke we ever knew.
Well, they call it like a big tricycle, but for an adult rather than one for a kid. It was a big one.
It wasn't a motorbike, though, it was a...
No, it was a push bike thing.
Yeah.
And she used to, sort of ride down the road with a fella sat in the basket on the back, with his, like, legs dangling over, and they'd be going to, like the pub and what have you.
Was it a different fella each time, or the same one?
Yeah, little sort of bald-headed fella.
So it was in collection for, like, organs and things. Bring out your ill. And then people just throw Grandad just in the back and go, right, get £4 for Grandad.
But she's
Got a lovely pair of testicles on him. They're very low, but they're
Bring out your dead, or nearly dead.
She used to pick on her husband quite a lot. They'd be in the pub and what have you, and they'd be sat by themselves, but she'd always be sort of, you know, having a go at him, moaning at him, sort of pushing him about and that. So my dad and his mate, right, they went round to their house, knocked on the door, she answered, and he said he was a copper, right? He said, you know, Detective Pilkington, gonna come in and have a word.
Sorry, I'm just going to make a note of impersonating a police officer.
For the good, he went in and sort of said, now, I've heard, you know, you picking on your husband a lot. Yeah. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Do it again, and there'll be trouble. And she backed off after that. She was alright.
And how was the husband? Was he still in the basket though? Was he allowed to ever sort of like ride up front with her, or was he just always in the basket?
She'd sort of stopped picking on him in public places and stuff.
That's
like
good.
That. You can't get done, can you, just for doing that?
I think impersonating a police officer.
Well, you probably did. There was no gain. I think you can't impersonate a police officer full stop, but I think they'd probably be lenient on him that he was. You know, but let's face it. He's not going to be caught because why would anyone know about it? It's not like his son's going to say it on a radio station, is it? And stitch him right up.
Is this something you did generally? Kind of a little bit like vigilante work?
Just whatever. And his mate, just, you know, if they saw something going on, they go, "What can we do? Sure. A little scam can we do, or whatever."
That's fantastic. That is brilliant. Right, okay, coming up, Knob News.
Smashing Pumpkins, Cherub Rock. That, of course, Rick, is available on their greatest hits.
Brilliant.
If you want.
I mean, that's how I rock. So yeah. I know they. I'm very much the shape of a cherub as well.
Well, indeed.
Naked with a couple of
and a rosy big arse
and a trumpet.
Yeah.
Do they have trumpets?
I don't know. Yeah. I've just had an email here. Monkey News.
Yeah.
from a listener. Monkey spotted holidaying in Cornwall. A chimp was spotted holidaying in Cornwall last week after befriending a family of 3. One onlooker said, "It was incredible. He dressed and behaved exactly like a human being. He even settled the hotel bill at the end of their stay. The only telltale sign was his lack of table manners and the incoherent babble when he opened his mouth." There we are. So,
Well, we look at that, Carl.
that's the listeners, Carl. That's Joanne.
Amusing, articulate, accurate. She remembered exactly who's there and everything, setting in the bill. It's all there. So, I mean, even though people think that you're slightly simian, you know, slightly less than human on the evolutionary ladder, they do listen to you. So, I mean, I don't know who's more stupid in the end, you or the listeners.
Well, you may recall, Rick, at the end of last week when Carl had to shoot off early, we issued a little request for listeners just to bombard Carl's email with just pointless emails that really weren't about anything, just to clog up his email for when he returned.
Yeah.
Rick, they sent them all to us.
Brilliant.
I mean, that's the kind of listeners that we've got. We've got reams here on our email of just junk.
I mean, it's like a Marx Brothers plot, isn't it? I mean, just
ludicrous.
listen.
Listen to what we say.
I got one, about a shaved cat. Well, that's not pointless, I'll be reading that later.
Oh, you're loving it, yeah.
I'm happy.
That'll keep you going for a couple of weeks.
I'll be reading that later.
Did you get to the monkey sanctuary? Because this was the big thing. You were going down to Cornwall, you were going to visit the monkey sanctuary. I've never seen someone more excited. You had 2 days put aside for the monkey sanctuary.
I know.
How did it go, Monkey World?
We were on our way, right? I found like a little, in the little cottage that we had, right? It's like a little folder, you know, with little leaflets in saying if you're into mountains, you want to go here.
Yeah.
If you're into castles and that.
Go to
Little
Castle
monkey
World.
on the leaflet, right? So I thought I'll be needing that. Took that out, made sure that's safe and that, right? We get in the car, getting ready to go. My dad says, "Where is it?" I look on the back. It's in a place called Low or something like that, right? So, we're on our way. Can't believe me luck. It's going to be a great day and all that.
Yeah.
And then, start looking at the leaflet, right? And, noticed didn't have any chimps there.
Yeah, it's not Monkey World.
It wasn't a monkey world.
Well, what was it called then?
Something like,
Monkey Town.
yeah, it was just, it had like woolly monkeys in it. That's what
It had what?
Woolly monkeys.
What are woolly monkeys?
Those things Johnny Vegas off the advert.
Right.
Loads of them. They're dumped now since ITV Digital went under, so they just put them in a cage.
I don't
They're
understand.
woolly. They're like they're sort of like little fluffy little baboon type things. Woolly monkeys. I mean, it's not your chimp. It's not your classic chimpanzee.
So did the car screech to a halt?
It was like,
Yeah.
it was like the mission in Armageddon. I just said abort. We're on the way back.
So how far have you got before you bothered to read the leaflet?
Probably about 5 miles away
Right.
from where we were.
So what did you do with yourself? You must have been distraught.
We
Well,
went
they
to,
broke down and then they heard banjo music.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we went to a sort of an amusement place.
Arcade.
I'd love to see you in that. What with putting those coins in, so it has to roll down and they go flat, and then an arm pushes
It
them.
was one of them.
Really?
But
I
I'd worked
spent
out
years
as a
on that when I was little.
Well, there's a new one. I can't be bothered explaining it, but it's a con. We went to this place, right? My mum and dad had been there before, and they said, "You'll love it. It's brilliant. It's got like a war bit in it."
A war bit, right?
Yeah, like because they know I'm into tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
So you'll be loving that.
So sorry, I didn't know you were into tanks.
No.
Well, they're all right.
Brilliant. It's gone from one of his childhood passions to they're all right.
I know, yeah. Go on.
And but it was awful. I mean, my mum and dad had been there before, and he said, "No, you'll love it." But it was like a really miserable day.
Sure.
Right? All the rides and that were broke.
Yeah.
Broke.
It just reminds you of Manchester.
My dad just ended up. He was more interested. There was a really fat family there.
Well, presumably he was breaking into the machines, trying to scoop off the cash.
I like the fact that those poor fat family were going, "Why are those people looking at us?"
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to ride one?
No, but
we're not a ride.
They were massive, and he just like, look at that, look at the state of that. The whole family,
Yeah.
just fat.
Bloaters, yeah.
All right.
No,
down.
but because fat, there's no need for it, is there? And he was really like, oh god. And then he wanted to follow them into the House of Mirrors to see what they look like. But my mum had got bored. She went off to buy a little Snow White figure. She couldn't believe her luck. It was only $2.99.
Yeah.
She thought it was going to be really expensive.
Sure,
so she
she's
bought
classy
one of
lady.
them. So she enjoyed that. And then my dad says, come on, we go in. It's rubbish, this.
What, the fat family wouldn't let him play with him?
So, he just said on the way home, he said, I can safely say that I never want to go there again before I die. So, that was that. And then we went home.
Why would he ever give you that information? In case it was like a secret birthday present? You go, oh God, what if they get me a trip to here? Or if he's in a coma and you go, I'll tell you what, bring him out of it.
That fat couple.
yeah.
By his bedside.
Yeah.
But Suzanne said she now realises why I am the way I am after spending like a week with them.
What, they told her that they dropped you on your head as a kid, or?
No, just like, you know, the way they act and that.
Right, yeah.
They were saying things like, Suzanne, so, why is the moon out at night and the sun in the day? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there's 3 of them.
Suzanne, can you tie my shoelaces again?
It was the bit when my dad said, don't waste money on a coffin for him, just put him in a bin bag.
Your father said that? About himself?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm glad you mentioned that, because
That is great.
that gives me an idea.
Look at Carl. I love that look of Carl. Carl is looking back and forth. You know when you sort of you go to a cat and it looks back and forth between 2 people. That's very much like Carl's looking at us now.
Or when, like, a child sees a midget or something in the street. They're just transfixed, aren't they? And the parents go, don't stare.
When we were pushing Ash, just our producers, in a wheelchair, and we were pushing
He's
through
not
the
a
BBC.
midget, we should make
No,
that
he's not a little midget. He's not tall. But we were pushing him through the BBC, and this little kid just came up and just stood in front of him and looked at him.
Yeah.
I just laughed.
It was funny. Do you do that? I imagine that you get caught staring at him.
Yeah, do you go up to people with problems and go, Mummy, is that a monster?
Well, I was telling you one about when I used to go with my dad in the taxi.
Oh, yeah,
What
tell us
happened?
this story.
Well,
Your father was a taxi driver?
my dad he had loads of jobs, which they did back then, and they don't do that anymore, do they, people? They don't
Have a
do
variety of
loads
jobs?
stuff.
Sure.
But at one point, he had a black cab, and I used to go with him. Used to get a beer crate and put it in the front of the black cab, and sort of sit just next to the
Comfortable.
meter. And anyway, we got this call, and like the guy on the end of the radio said, "Oh, you've got your son with you, haven't you?" So he said, "Yeah." So it's just like, you know, we've got to pick up at number 11 Village Lane or whatever. And he said, "Oh, right." And it was this woman. It was like a woman version of the Elephant Man.
Wow. The Elephant Woman.
Yeah, it looked like... it looked like... It was really strange, because I was in the front of the cab, and when you're a kid, if something looks odd, you're a bit scared of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Look, be alright." And we're driving towards her.
Look, don't worry, son, I've got loads of buns.
And just to
I think
give
I'll
you-
just throw one down the street if you run after
You're
it.
being mean, right?
I am a little bit,
So
yeah.
how old were you, 18?
No, I was about 12 or something like that, 11, 12. And as we got closer to her, it looked like she was holding like a bag of spuds on her shoulder,
For a snack.
Right.
and her head was all a bit mangled and messy and that. And my dad said, "Whatever you do, don't stare at her face."
Yeah.
And she got in the
Because you
back.
turn into stone.
She got in the back, and I had like the mirror, the driver's mirror thing, and sort of having a look, trying to work out. And I mean, he said, "Don't stare at her face." I couldn't work out where her face was. It was that weird.
Oh, God.
So I'm not sure you're from Manchester. I think you're from, like, Narnia or something.
Yeah, you got frog boys walking
yeah,
around
the Lord
with
of the Rings.
That got like the claws of a lobster and the head of a toad.
Yeah.
And you got women getting in with spuds for heads. I mean, what
This is
sort
not
of, what
Manchester.
is
This is not the place you grew up. This
Yeah.
is mad.
Oh, you can't believe it in London, can you? You come down and you go, look, symmetry. It must be amazing.
It must be a thing to do with upbringing, though, mustn't it? And because again, do you know, I've said to you before, years ago when I was a kid and didn't have any worries, good-looking lad, you go through it a bit, have a few more worries, and you look knackered. Now back there's a lot more worries and stuff, so you get a lot more freaks. Whereas in London, everyone's like happy, aren't they? Got
I love the fact that stress can cause your fingers to fuse and your heads
Yeah.
to grow.
No, but if
She must have been really stressed to have a head like
Yeah, yeah. She what was
Bag of
yeah, was she an accountant or something?
you know what I mean.
But what did she do? What did she say?
Where
when
was she
got in?
going, by the way?
She couldn't speak.
London Zoo, please.
I think she was going to like
To
a
the
pet
fair.
shop. Seriously, honest to God. On my mum's life, she was. Because at the end of the day, that's a good thing with animals. They don't judge you, do they?
She's not
She
an
was an
animal.
animal. She's a human
She's
being.
not actually an elephant.
No, but
You know the elephant man was not actually an elephant. Do you understand that? He's got no elephant genes in him at all.
No.
That was just a cruel name people gave him.
Yeah.
No, it's the name of the disease, isn't it? Elephantitis.
Look, so listen, so this woman, why was she going to a pet shop?
She was going to a pet shop. What, to find a husband?
Is this true?
No, it is true, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
God.
I'm not taking the mickey, because it must be really bad for
Of
you.
course it is.
Carl, I
we
need to
haven't-
ask.
I'm going on to you today about cutting myself shaving.
Yeah.
I was going on about that, to think that I mean, she's probably not alive now, but to think,
But you're saying, you're going to say this is a worse problem than a little cut shaving, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I
The
think you're
things
right.
that
Carl,
you worry about.
there's a couple of key questions I need to ask. One, if she couldn't talk,
Yeah.
how did she tell your father where to drive it? Did she have it
Probably
written
got
on a
some
note?
help
Did
for
she
that,
point
haven't
with her nose?
Yeah.
you? Right, this has got silly. Pick your song.
But and also, finally, where did you say she lived again?
It was like in a village, a little small village.
Right.
Just hidden out of the way.
All I'm saying is we could maybe get like some sort of coach, book some coaches, get a coach party up there to have a look at her.
So
Take some photos.
And now,
You can make some lemonade.
the offspring of a woman and some spuds. Please enter at your peril. Should it give me a shiny shilling?
Wow.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'm going to play a little bit of Teenage Fan Club song for the lovers here. We left it very late, which has been just, you know, rapping with Carl P here, and this is I Need Direction.
I mean, my dad, right? He can like put windows in his house,
Yeah.
do plumbing.
He should. It's dark, isn't it? He's done that first of all. Right.
So he can do what? He's got a multitude of different
Yeah, he
jobs.
can do all sorts. Do you know what I mean? If there's a problem in my flat, I can call him up and say, you know, this isn't working. What should I do? And he'll say like,
Is that our brain surgeon?
he'll say, "Oh, fix it."
Sure. So what about Monsters Inc? What did you make of it?
It's alright. It is a kids' film. It sort of annoyed
Is
me.
it?
Okay.
I was having like,
what gave that away? Do you think?
Could I just say also that I do not advocate the use of vices on friends' heads. It's dangerous. Do not squeeze your mate's head in a vice. That's just between me and Carl, and you know. And
Because Gervais is an experienced annoyer.
and he probably wouldn't let me do it, to be honest. I have to offer him an awful lot of money. Also, do not smoke. There's no point. And floss. I wish I'd flossed when I was a kid. Also, if you've got a bicycle or anything like that for Christmas, please wear the correct safety gear.
Whoa.
What?
Well, I got a bike as a kid.
Yeah.
Right? And my dad, you know, I think the helmets used to come with them and what have you. I popped it on, went out on my bike, going back into the garden. Dad sees me. He said, "Come here." I said, "What?" He said, "I never want to see you wearing that helmet again. You look ridiculous."
Carl, have we still got Monkey News?
We've got Monkey News coming up.
Now, you must be disappointed because you didn't make it to the Monkey Sanctuary, but you still managed to scrape together Monkey News on your holiday.
Yeah.
That's
So I
impressive.
found some of that. We've got...
How
some-
do you get so many breaks and holidays? Because you went away with Suzanne's parents. You've just been away with your parents. That's a couple of weeks, 10 days. So that's probably about 3 weeks in all. You had that. You went to Manchester. You had that day off because your trousers were wet. I mean, and you know, I mean, I suppose because you've only got one job, and you know, I've got a lot more. This is just one of my jobs. But I mean, don't you ever count your blessings? Go, God, thank God, I can have time off. I don't work too hard. You know, I'm not stressed too much.
No. It's just all to do with when you do work, do a lot. So I get a lot done.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm always doing stuff. I mean, even though when I was in Cornwall, right, I'm sat there on the grass.
Oh, I'd love to just sit on the grass.
Yeah, you're too busy.
Chill
right
out a
now,
little bit.
aren't
I know, yeah, well, you know.
Me dad and Suzanne are playing crib, right? I'd sort of fallen out with him at
you? Your
that
dad
point.
and Susanna playing
Why did you
crib.
fallen
Because
out
you do
with
live
who?
in the 1940s.
Yeah, why did you fallen out?
Because with crib, have you ever played crib?
Yeah,
Right, you've got to be pretty good at maths.
sure.
You've got to make your cards add up to 15 and all
Well,
that.
yeah, I was just gonna correct you on you've got to be good at maths. Yeah. What, algebra, quantum physics, what?
No, just adding up.
Adding up to 15. Brilliant.
I mean,
You can almost do it on your fingers.
my dad's,
You could in Cornwall.
Yeah.
but my dad's really good at maths, and like he said, how many have you got? And he always counts his, and it's like 15 2, 15 4, 15 6, 3 for your at, 1 and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He adds it up really
One
quick.
for his knob.
Right, so I was like, right, hang on a minute. And he goes, no, what do you mean, hang on? I know, what have you got? He says, oh, forget it. I said, this isn't fun if you're going to start getting all arsey with me.
Sure.
So,
Get it? I love it. But he's only, I don't know him, but I'm sure he's just winding you up. Like, his victory is you going, forget it, I'm not playing.
throughout my life so far, I've never planned for anything, right? It's just always happened.
Yeah.
The time, you know what I mean, being in plays at school, never planned it, but when I did it, I went down a storm.
It was a
that sort of
triumph,
thing.
yeah, we all remember that.
So,
As I remember, you did Little Donkey.
did Little Donkey, yeah.
And then later, someone was filming at the back. Was it your dad's mate?
My dad's mate. Well,
Yeah. And on the camcorder, he listened to it back, watched him playing it. His dad says, just off camera, what does he say?
I don't want to say it because I'm in charge of the show and it'd be irresponsible.
He looks like a right twat.
So,
And so he gets home, listening, watching that, and then here's his dad just off camera go, he looks like a right twat.
yeah, alright, yeah.
What are you worried about? Your dad saying that or the
Can I
word?
just interject, because I'm really worried about this idea of Carl being on MTV, because the problem is that, you know, let's be honest, Rick, I mean, we're getting by the skin of our teeth, aren't we, really? It's
Yeah.
only Carl that's keeping this afloat.
Yeah.
And if he gets on MTV and the world sort of gets a sense of him and they understand him, and he won't be ours anymore, we won't be able to control him, it'll be out there, it'll be in the
Well,
public
that's
domain.
the thing. No, that's the thing. That's the terrible thing, though, isn't it? It's like Carl is my pet, but I realise I've got to release him into the wild, sort of. And you know, because I love him, I know he's got to go free.
Sure.
But I wanna.
It's like Kez. Maybe someone will beat him to death and we won't have to worry.
I'll have you on though, I'll have you on as a guest.